Okay, good evening and welcome to the Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting for October 11th, 2023. Emmanuel and Kelly are both missing this evening and we hope they are feeling okay. And we'll just jump straight into it. We've got the minutes from the September meeting. I'm assuming everybody got a chance to look at them. I guess I'm looking for a motion to approve those minutes.
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay, a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, I know, I did it right this time. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take the vote. All in favor of those, approving those minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody objecting? So you speak now or forever hold your peace, and there's nobody left, so there's no delegation of individuals. Nobody's here, it's very sad. We'd love to have people come out and see the meeting. We'll go to unfinished business and throw it right into your lap, and you can just go from start to finish.
All right, will do. Update on Bollinger Park. We are getting so close, everyone. We're almost there. The path paving continues. One boardwalk is almost finished, and the second one has been started. And just keep in mind, these are, over 100 feet long each. So a lot of hard work has to go into those. The stormwater facility is being installed this week. The drive and the parking lot will be paved within the next 2 weeks. The lights are being installed next week. Site amenities and the solar-powered security cameras will follow that. The reforestation planting of the 798 trees, that's being scheduled for the next couple of weeks. So we are still shooting for the end of October to get this park open and those grants closed out. So a lot of things happening now at the end simultaneously. So that's good. Update on Memorial Park expansion project. Our engineer, Arrow, is working on addressing everything from the county review in order to produce the final site plans. We have submitted a floodplain easement variance request to the county to use the FEMA floodplain boundary instead of the county's floodplain boundary, because for some reason the county's was larger than FEMA's, and theirs was encroaching into that bottom field down by the woods and the streams. So we weren't going to lose that field, so we put in the variance request. And the gentleman at the county who's in charge of floodplain management is very much in favor of it. He said that he is definitely going to recommend approval of it. So we have some confidence in that. We're working with the lighting contractor and the multipurpose building contractor to get some more realistic cost estimates. What they gave us initially just had so many bells and whistles that we don't need that. We need to make it a little more basic to bring those costs down. Update on general park improvements. As soon as Bollinger is finished, we're going to get out there to Flickinger and repave those paths and do some slight regrading in that park. That project has just been, it's been at the top of the list, but put on hold for so long because of other things going on, especially Bollinger. So it'll be good to get that done. Then we're going to level out the infield at Memorial Park Field 1. We will also see if we can fit any other projects in before the colder weather really settles in, and we can't really do much. If not, then everything else on the list will just have to wait until the weather breaks and warms up in the spring. Update on 2023 events. The photography contest is still open. We are receiving some good photo entries, so that's good. All of those will be sent to you all the first week of November for you to judge and select those winners. Cool. We had the Tales of Taneytown and Trunk or Treat at Memorial Park on Saturday, October 28th from 3 to 5. And then we have the December 2nd Christmas tree lighting. That's also at Memorial Park. Additional miscellaneous updates. I did the park inspections last week, and everything overall just looks great. I mean, we've caught up, and the guys have just been absolutely fabulous at fixing things that have been on my to-do list. That being said, there are still some things that I had to put on the to-do list. So they'll get to those, of course, when they can. All the playgrounds need mulch, and that's going to be installed this fall. Bike racks and repair stations have been installed at Roberts Mill and Memorial Park, and we put up new basketball poles and backboards at Roberts Mill Park. They look very, very nice. So again, thanks to our Public Works crew for all of that. Oh, and we donated one of the basketball poles, the old basketball poles and backboards, to the local Boy Scout troop. They were shooting at a stick, basically, a blank hole. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, we can help you out with
That's
that.
good.
You know. Also regarding the splash pad, I have been in conversations with the contractor and their installer. I know we had a lot of questions about ongoing maintenance and specifics about the recirculating water system and all that good stuff. I'm going to have more information and the answers to our questions we'll dive into that at next month's meeting. But one of the things that they have proposed for ongoing maintenance, and also with keeping in mind we may want to expand the footprint of the splash pad in the future, is to have the whole recirculating system above ground. That way, if we expand, it's just a matter of just hooking those new features up to the above ground system as opposed to getting down into the ground and excavating again.
Right.
So all of that equipment would be obviously kind of, to the side of the splash pad, and it would definitely be fenced. The splash pad itself is going to be fenced just for security reasons and, when we want to lock it off season and such, to help protect against vandalism too, hopefully. But the equipment is definitely going to have to be fenced and locked up. So,
Okay.
but basically, well, like I said, we'll get into all the details next month, but it sounds like the ongoing maintenance is very similar to like pool maintenance. We have to winterize it. We have to empty the water tank out and flush it all through and all that kind of stuff. And then, the company, the pool company, basically, for lack of a better phrase, would come and check the chemicals and just maintain everything for us. So that doesn't sound too bad. But again, I'm going to get more costs and better idea of what we're looking at on that. And still no word. Of course, we're not going to hear anything on that grant application for the splash pad until March at the earliest. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed on that. And that's all I have for unfinished business. Anybody have any questions for me?
You know what, I do have one question.
Yes.
We're talking about those solar panels over
Yes.
at Bollinger. I know most of those trees over there are the mature trees that are around the area. Are we going to have an issue with the panels down the road, like with getting the sun in order to function?
That the area where this is going to be, where the solar panel and the cameras and everything is going to be, is up near the front, adjacent to the parking lot. And that area is very open now. A lot of trees have been cleared out of there. So, for better or worse, but and in this case, it does help us with the solar panel. The solar panel will be elevated as well on a wooden pole, so that way it'll get the majority of the sun's exposure and be out of the way, out of harm's way. So,
Right.
so we're confident that we'll get enough power, enough juice to run those cameras 24/7.
Okay, yeah, that was the most important part, is those
Yes.
cameras.
Right. The parking lot lights, they're all self-contained. They've got their solar panel inside the fixture and then the LED light. And so they have enough juice, if you will, to run from dusk to dawn, which is the only time that they'll need to be on, basically.
Right.
So that'll be fine, but because they were self-contained and they just weren't powerful enough for the cameras, there was just no way to tap in and do anything with it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's been a little bit of a challenge trying to figure that all out, but Dan, our IT guru, has just been so wonderful in working with Fern Rodke on the research and coming up with the best solution for facilitating that security camera coverage out there, because we definitely have to have it.
Well, yeah, and a big thank you to Dan for taking that on.
Yes.
Can I add something, Lorena?
Oh, yes, please do.
So also the capacity that will be built into the ground-based system will also compensate for the lack of light. So everything is based on a summer variable of 2.5 to 3.5 hours of light daily to charge.
Okay.
So the size of the panel will charge the capacity of the batteries, which are lithium polymer, which have a 10-year life cycle as opposed to a regular car acid battery, which is 2 to 3.
Nice.
So all that has been thought of.
Cool, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dan.
Not a problem.
10 years is nice.
Yeah, yes.
All right, any other questions?
Technical expertise when we need it.
That's right, gotta love them when they hop in. All right, well, I guess we can move on to new business then.
All right, new business, post-event discussion of the Harvest Festival. I thought the event went very well. The weather
Great.
was nice. It was a little dodgy in the morning, but it did turn out to be a nice day. I think the turnout was good. The vendors all did well. Food vendors did well. It seemed everybody was happy, so I think we can count that as a success. We budgeted $6,500 for expenditures. We brought in a little over 1,200 for the vendors, from the vendors. So combined with that 6,500, and we had expenditures of about 5,600. So we came out about $2,100 under cost.
Under
Okay.
budget.
So, yeah,
On time and under budget.
right,
Right, we love
which is
that.
very good, yeah.
Nice.
So,
And it was a beautiful day.
yeah, so luckily, knock on wood, we've been doing well with the two big ones, the Wine Festival and the Harvest Festival, so
Cool.
I'm doing well with those. I wish I could say the same for the flea market.
Aye.
I'm just moving to that post-event discussion of the fall flea market. The weather was not in our favor for this one, as Judy can attest. It was
Yes, I can tell you.
miserable. You know, when I had to make the decision of whether to cancel it or not, the weather forecast at that time, slight chance of showers until 9:30, 10. No, it rained. It was pretty steady until noon, and then it finally blew out, and then, you know, the sun came out, but the wind had picked up. But there were some diehard shoppers who came
Yes, there
out. Most of the vendors, you know, did well, but we didn't have as many vendors signed up as we did for the spring flea market. I just think that, you know, people in fall, they've been yard sailing all summer long. They've been selling, they've been going and buying, you know, whatever, and they're just done. They, you know, they're wrapped up with that. So I think we're just gonna drop the fall flea market for next year, and we'll just keep the spring one. I think the spring one is good. People are doing their spring cleaning, or, you know, they want to get out and start, you know, doing their shopping, their flea market, yard sale shopping. So we'll keep that one. And following up on our discussion, our previous discussion about how to integrate a citywide yard sale flea market, I checked into the Littlestown Good Old Days. We had talked about that. And the organizer of that basically sells the vendor spots for the multi-day, you know, festival, or if that's what you want to call it, at their cross park. And then they basically ask anyone, they have a Facebook page for the event, and they ask anyone who's having a yard sale in town to list their address on the Facebook post and like the type of items that they're selling.
Okay.
So, and it's as simple as that. So I'm thinking if we want to do something like that, maybe, you know, we tie it into the Harvest Festival. And Randy with Public Works and Kevin with Public Works had stated the same thing, you know,
Okay.
let everybody do their yard sales, you know, on Harvest Festival Day.
Right.
Because it's not going to detract from the craft vendors, because they're, you know, they've got their specialty crafts or whatever. Yard sales, you know, it's a different
Right.
thing altogether. And then just post out there, you know, hey, list your address and what you're selling on here. So I don't know. What do you all think
I mean,
about
that definitely takes some of the work from you, which is great. And I think if we can draw people into the city for the,
Right.
you know, yard sale portion of it, then they'll definitely come to the Harvest
Right.
Festival too, to check that out.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. We can plan that in for next year's Harvest Festival. We'll do that. And that's all I have for new business.
Yeah, just have to get the word on that citywide yard sale thing. You
Yes.
just have to get the word out well in advance so that if people are going to have a yard sale, rather than one in this block this week and one in that,
Right.
they all kind of get it together.
Yeah, organize it, yeah, for the same day. I know, yeah. And I know the Taneytown record publication is still being discussed, how that's gonna handle with our advertising. We do rely on that for our hard
yeah.
copy advertising. Because even the Emmitsburg News Journal, I mean, their advertising rates are going up, and the Carroll County Times and the Frederick News Post, we
Yeah, forget
can't
about
even
it.
afford that. It's just astronomical in those advertising prices. So, again, hopefully we'll get the record sorted out and can start publishing stuff in that.
I'm just wondering if, like you had said with the fall flea market, everybody was kind of like to the end of their yard sale and flea market stuff. Like, what about tying it to something like instead of to the fall fest, tie it to an event that's earlier in the year when people are more, like you said, like our spring one. Well, not to the spring one, but like the spring one is everybody's getting out and they're like,
Right.
they're starting the process of that. Versus doing it at the tail end of it.
Right, and that is a good point. I wouldn't tie it to the spring flea market, just because, if you can sell it out of your house or whatever in your driveway, why would you
Right.
pay, $10 or $20 to haul it all down to the park, and set up there?
Well, unless where they live isn't set up for
Yeah, right.
selling it that way.
Somebody out of town, or whatever. in
Right,
the
or, I mean, because we
surrounding
have had some
vicinity.
people that came from out of town, even at this last one, we had the
Right.
woman who came
Or
all the way
even
from
just tying
Virginia.
it to a different event. I mean, like Wine Fest or something, just
Mm-hmm.
something else that's earlier in the year.
If they're drinking, they're gonna buy a lot of stuff.
Really? Yeah. Yeah. Um,
And it wouldn't even have to be that one. I mean, I know that one's busy and,
Right.
but like, that's a busy day for everybody, but like,
yeah.
I can't think off the top of my head what to link it to, but we have all these other events going on between, that are earlier in the year.
Eastern stuff.
Well, we had the Easter egg hunt, and on the same
We do.
day there was the maybe it wasn't the brewery fire keg hunt. So like people were like already going around town to do that. I know they had a
Right.
good turnout, so we could just try and figure out when they do that and kind of piggyback.
Incorporate the whole thing.
Yeah. I think next year it's going to be early. Easter is early, so our Easter egg hunt is like March 29th.
Oh,
I
gosh.
feel like it's going to be chilly or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, if we do tie it in with the spring flea market, if you are in an apartment or you're out of town or whatever, and
Right,
you
don't have
wanna
the
get in on
parking
it, then
or-
yeah, you can reserve a spot at the park. If not, then, have it at your house. And I think with more of that going on, that might bring more people in.
Right.
So we could tie it all together. The flea market does not cost us anything, an initial outlay anyway,
That's
to
true.
put on, other than my time and the Public Works guys' time for marking out, the vendor spots and such.
Right.
So,
But what guy doesn't like playing with
Right,
spray
with
paint
spray
on the
paint,
grass?
right.
So.
so other than that, I mean, it's not gonna cost anything if we open it up to everybody in the city to do their own, spring yard sale flea market thing.
You could almost like, if you did that early, you could do it again with the Fall Fest and then just kind of see if you get the same kind of interest. If we see the same pattern where there wasn't as much interest like this year with the fall, then, then just scrap it for
Right.
the following year. And just do
Right.
the one in the beginning.
Okay. So are we agreed then, try to tap it into the spring flea market? We'll do that.
Yeah, and we're doing the spring one later in April, or I forget if that was decided yet.
Did I have a date on
I
the
can't-
event calendar?
I can't remember.
recall, and I don't have it with me. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, we
we'll
got some
find out.
time.
What was that?
The date for he has one right in front of him. Do we have a date for next year's spring?
Spring Community Flea Markets, Saturday, May 18.
Oh, okay, so May. Yeah,
So
that's,
that's a
a
good-
good time, yeah.
Okay.
I think the weather would cooperate a little better.
Oh, let's
And if
hope
we
so.
start pushing it early enough, then I bet, you know.
Yeah, they might be
Yeah.
cold or something.
Shh, don't say that. Right.
Look, if the weather is bad next year for that spring flea market, then we know the flea markets
It's
are
not gonna work.
cursed,
I
not-
know, that's what it is.
We're gonna
not
strike them
doing
off
it.
the list. Not gonna do them again. Okay. Alrighty. I mean, that's all I have. Anybody have any questions about any of those?
Well, I just want to say thank you for hanging out with me
Mm-hmm.
at the last flea market there in the rain. I did still manage to make it like $150.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
So
And you cleared some stuff out.
I
so
got a
that's
lot,
good.
I got rid of a lot of stuff, and I thank so much the people who really did come out there and just
Yeah,
rain hats and all.
right. Yeah, it was.
God love 'em.
I was still getting comments on the Facebook post later. Oh, are those horse statues still available?
It
How
was
much
already
for that
over and
picture
everybody
made
went home.
nicer? I'm like, okay. First of all, while I might like to be, I am not your personal shopper, and I'm not going to
Right.
barter for you, drop it off at your house. You're going to have
Yep.
to come down to the park and check out the merchandise and
That was the big thing.
bid on it yourself or whatever.
Yeah, she's
was
gonna have to have a disclaimer every time she makes a post. I'm not going to check and see if it's still there. Just come down and see.
Yeah.
All right, does anybody have any more questions or comments on that? All right, moving on. Reports. Don't have any of those.
The reports.
Does anybody have any comments? Anything to share? Thoughts? Ideas? Everybody said no. All right, then,
Nothing that can't be put off.
oh, you're so silly. Next meeting date scheduled for November 15th, and that will be with the Athletic Association.
Correct.
So
yes.
that will start at 6:30 still, and then the regular meeting will start following that meeting. I guess that's it. Can we go ahead and get that motion to adjourn, and we can all go home? Unless you want to stay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Jerry. You want a second?
We will second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Everybody, okay. That's everybody. Meeting is adjourned.
Right,
Have a
that-
great night, everybody.
That was record